This morning we're in a park and I would describe today as apocalyptic. I don't know if you can really see like the light, but it's been very smoky. It was starting to get smoky yesterday in Vancouver, and now today it is extremely smoky, to the point where the sun is like this very orange hue. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of just looks like sunset all the time. There's also a person that's just like in a hammock over on one of the trees, and that just looks like such a vibe. But I wanted to make this video and also kind of, I don't know, change up the environment. I tried to film this video last night and I felt like I needed a bit more time to gather my thoughts. I wanted to make a video to kind of talk about how I've been feeling lately as far as my content creation goes. I imagine some people have noticed in videos, but I just feel like the past couple months I've felt not less motivated, but just less excited about the content that I'm putting out. Lately, I've just felt not as excited and creatively fulfilled by the content that I'm putting out. I think that a big reason for the lack of enjoyment of the content that I've been putting out is because I have spoken about this before in videos actually, and I have a habit of trying to follow trends within the niche that I'm creating. So if I'm creating computer science content, for example, I'll try to follow trends that are existing within that niche. Or when I switched over to sharing my writing journey, I found myself trying to follow trends that exist in the writing community in the niche on YouTube. And I'd like to say that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Trends are trends for a reason. Generally, they're things that people find value in, or they're things that people have been enjoying, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's also a really great way to grow your audience and reach more people. And if you believe that the content you're creating has value, then it's a natural thing to want to reach more people with the content that you're putting out. So trends aren't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that for me and for a lot of other people, I think they start to have a negative impact on your enjoyment of creating content, and they start to have a negative impact on the value of your content when you focus too heavily on trends that are existing within your niche. So the reason that this came up for me, I think, is because I have been kind of sprinkling into my videos over the past couple months more wellness, lifestyle, generalized creativity advice. I've found that I've really been enjoying adding that aspect to my videos. Again, none of this is good nor bad. It's more of just reflections that I've been having around my own content and how I want to move forward based on how I'm feeling about those reflections. And the truth of the matter is that I've wanted to kind of pivot for a while. I don't want to move away from writing, because writing is just such an integral part of my life, whether that's working on writing projects with friends, or working on my novels, or writing poetry when I'm feeling emotional, or journaling, just anything really. But I've noticed that I've been trying to be one of the author tubers or people in the writing community on YouTube that makes the sort of like how-to videos, how to plot, how to structure, how to create a fantasy world, how to flesh out characters. I've just found myself leaning towards trends that put me in that sort of position, and I've had to try them out, like I wouldn't have arrived at this conclusion if I hadn't tried out those trends and tried what other people were doing to see how I liked it. I think I've just found that through experimenting with those trends and trying them out, I've just learned that I don't want to be an authority on the technicalities of writing. And that is what a lot of author tubers, I think, do focus on when they start to create videos about writing and about their books. And there's nothing wrong with that, again, but I've just noticed after trying it and trying to follow those trends for the past year or so that it just doesn't light up my creativity how I want it to. And I think that that has to do not only with the way that I'm creating those videos and the way that I'm adapting those trends to my own content, but also the trends themselves. Like, I don't particularly feel excited and lit up by the idea of teaching people how to plot a novel, because I think that that's something that is so specific to the person. And for me, what would be more valuable in that case is actually teaching people or offering advice or inspiration on how to be more creative in general, or how to get past creative blocks or self-limiting beliefs that are maybe causing issues in your writing. Because when it comes down to the technicalities, there are guidelines, but at the end of the day, you can kind of do whatever you want, and everyone's going to have different opinions on what the best strategy is. But I think when it comes to, you know, getting a little deeper and digging a little deeper into why you're creating stories and how you're creating them, I think making content around that would be more valuable for me personally. And that's something that I've had to arrive at after trying to make content in the way that I thought made the most sense, and in the way that I saw other people in the community doing it. And I think that I've been really nervous to change, because I know that I change very often. I change the content that I create, I change the way I create content, I change what parts of my life I share. But then I came across this post on Instagram. It's by an account called Inspired to Write. I'll leave them linked down below. And this came at the right time. It was posted 4 days ago. I saw it a couple days ago. So I'm going to read it out to you. I'll also put it up on the screen. Words for the creator who is thinking about pivoting. Pivoting on your creative journey is essential. You aren't here to obediently and subserviently please one audience with one sort of art. I know it would be easy to just keep doing the thing you're already good at, the thing that already has success, but you aren't here to create the same things over and over again. You're here to make the art that calls you. You deserve to explore all the facets of your creative potential. You have so much to give. If you don't let yourself explore different creative avenues, you are going to become bitter at your current way of creating. It will become a prison of your own making. When you pivot, you're not starting from scratch. You're an experienced creative with a wealth of experiences, but you are going to need to give yourself room to play, F up, and be messy. When you pivot, you will lose some of your audience. You don't need them for this next part of the journey. When you pivot, you will find new people who connect with your new expression. You would never have connected with them if you hadn't dared to create something new. When you pivot, your audience might get confused. That's okay. Give them time, remind them you're a multi-passionate, expansive miracle of a creative, and that you can change and evolve on this journey. A big fear around pivoting is the worry that we will be robbed of the thrills that we experienced as a result of our previous successes. What if my posts get fewer likes? What if I stop getting any attention? My brain might feel shitty. Here is your reminder. Your brain is safe with lower seasons of dopamine. You are safe without external validation. You and your creativity are safe as you dare to do something new. So as you can imagine, that post really came at the right time for me. So I think if you've noticed, I've changed the banner art on my channel. It now says that I am creating videos about storytelling, creativity, and intentional living. And that's kind of where the pivot is going. I'm still going to be talking about storytelling. I think if I go more in depth about technicalities of writing and storytelling, I might post that on my Patreon. But I just feel like I have more value to offer as a creative that I'm not offering right now, because I'm trying to follow trends that are existing within the writing community and that are like classic trends that we always seem to do as author tubers. And I think it's just time to like try some new ones, see what other kind of content I can create, try to change up the way I create content, and then kind of just go from there. I am now going to do a little bit of journaling, and then I'm going to go to the farmer's market because BC is on fire, and I feel like now there has never been a better time to try and support local as much as possible. So I'm going to try and get the majority of my groceries from the farmer's market today, and then I don't know, I'm just gonna see where the Sunday takes me.